Hey guys, welcome back to part 2 of the deep playthrough of Dishonored 2. We are at the bath house and our main objective is to free our former mentor Dot, the guy on the left. We have 2 contracts. One involves killing and burning that white hound over there, the wolfhound, because he was stolen from his boss and he apparently carries all kinds of diseases, and his former boss wants to get him out of his misery. And we have to destroy the stock of red liquor that is being produced on the 2nd floor of the bathhouse, clandestine operation, and also steal the recipe for their formula for their liquor production. That is our aim. There's one unfortunate thing. It really gets time for me to build another new PC. I have quite a good graphics card, but my processor, it's i5 2500K. It's pretty old, 5-6 years. Still going strong. It was overclocked from 3.3 GHz to 4.4. In a long time it was 4.6. With decent cooling, like a big 120mm fan, thermal take 120, I guess. But it's not simply that stable anymore. I'm not sure which component is failing. It could also just be the hard drive, because I'm also uploading, of course, my recordings in the background to YouTube. So the hard drive is also having to do quite some work. But the game just crashes out intermittently, and the last time it crashed out, it actually was just 5 minutes ago. It was like 1.5 hours worth of recording, which got corrupted because it was a full PC freeze. Pretty annoying. So I'm at the same room we left off yesterday, but there are still some things here that we already picked up yesterday that I now have to re-pick up, because this was the only save that was closest to the point we picked up. In the meantime, I overwrote a lot of saves and I got way ahead into the story, but of course I cannot pick up from there because then you will miss out on a certain section. So yeah, let's just continue where we picked off and just pretend it never happened. It's frustrating. I just did a full reset, drained all the power, reset the BIOS, so hopefully it's a bit more stable. And I will also again put a timer that my recording won't exceed 1 hour intervals, or 1 hour duration per recording, so that if it crashes I don't need to play back that much. Although it remains a bit awkward, even if it's only an hour or less, having to replay something that you just played with commentary and replay it again with commentary. It feels like a bit disingenuous, like it's not really spontaneous anymore. But yeah, what can I do? So just I will run through it and pretend it's the first time. I also went in the recording that crashed to the building that was opposite the bathhouse, which had a locked door which we couldn't access, and I thought maybe some NPC was carrying over a key or whatever. But while editing the footage of part 1 that is now being uploaded, I by full coincidence stumbled upon a clip where I noticed a window at the back of that building that is open, which is actually also the way into that building. So I will also replay that section. Furthermore, I didn't get that far, I didn't progress that far. I did do some stuff, and I will show you what I did. Okay, here we go. First, take the mine. I'm not gonna read any tutorials that we already read yesterday. Okay. Let's take the bone charm. Let's equip the bone charm. I think we already read this whole room yesterday, so I'm not gonna reread the things, and this one as well. By the way, this one is pretty well hidden. It's hardly I can see it because I have some reflection going on with the exterior lighting on my LCD screen. So if it's a dark scene, it's really hard for me to distinguish what's actually there. Actually, what is also good is I will not write over save games too quickly, what I used to do.
If I can just get through this shift, then I can go and have a mug or something at the pub and feel a little like myself again.
Okay, we can, by the way, draw people in here. Let's do that, like we did yesterday.
Whoa, what was that?
Yeah, I don't know. Man, it really feels like a waste when you do a playthrough with commentary that gets corrupted. Ah man, they're with the two of them. That's a bummer. Maybe we can get...
I'll break your face!
Why couldn't I get them? Because there were two of them, I guess.
What's going on?
Potions and tinctures. And there's the whip the void.
Let's hope he gets in by himself, or she, herself. There they come. Yes, that's one NPC all alone. And let's... oh, that didn't work. I wanted to finish him off.
Proud now, are you?
God damn it. God damn it. God damn it. I want to stun him. Oops. Like so. And then I want to put him over there and put him out of his misery. Like so. That's actually good, at least. Let's look at the positive side. I got one more NPC down than yesterday in this little room, because then I only got the girl at that time. So let's look at it from the bright side, but still it has like a really annoying feeling. I also had it in Quantum Break with a big section, but then afterwards my PC was pretty stable, so yeah. And buying a new one is also not really an option, because I want to I built my own and it's really like an investment. I'm always make a nice one, and it really costs like, I don't know, 1,000-1,500 euros with the CPU, the motherboard. Okay, the graphic cards I can still keep, but yeah, CPUs are good CPUs are quite pricey. By the way, you can also, I discovered you can peep through keyholes. Well, I initially thought that would not be the case, so that's good. Yeah, so buying a new PC, I will just take my chances for a little while longer, that it will run a bit well. Okay, this room actually was what we already cleared yesterday, if I remember correctly. That is that dude over here. I am not sure whether I found anything here yet. Here they have like the liquor production going on. The red cages. And some ether. No, there wasn't much over here. Then what I also noticed is if we open this door, we have the key now because we got that from the dude that was lying unconscious there. That actually is the workshop key. We can open this door. And actually, we are now at the start of the bathhouse section in the hallway, where we initially paid her 100 coins to open this door, and it. I'm not sure whether I did that yesterday. No, I did that just this now when the video got corrupted. I somehow managed to get 100 coins. I asked her to open the door. She bumped on it. She said, "Okay, get in, but stay out of sight." And then the door didn't open, so so then I went down and I went through, I also ended up here, and I thought this was just a side room, but this is actually circling back to the main hallway, because if you go down there, you will have like the boxing ring and etc. And Dot, who is being held prison below the boxing ring in that electrified room. So this is handy to know. This is like a shortcut. So there is not much to be gained from there. Yeah, what I did when I initially thought that this was another room, I thought this was an hostile NPC. Well, this is actually, she couldn't care less about me. I choked her and I read a note on her, and it was about some girlfriend of her that was leaving Al-Barka. Is it Al-Barka? I always forget. Yeah, it's Al-Barka. Because one of her girlfriends was killed in a fist fight downstairs. So it was not really like an important note, but just for the record I'm mentioning it. And by the way, I can check whether indeed I can steal something while people are still conscious, because I'm having a hard time with that. So I wonder whether you have to first knock them unconscious. I don't think so, because in the tutorial of the main game there was like a section, steal this key of me. Yeah, you can get it. Here, Eleanor, this is the letter I was talking about. I'm shoving you off as soon as I get coin enough for a ship to wind down. My heart soured on this place after the brute killed poor Maudie last month. I'll never forget how the crowd laughed when he got at her. Pricks, no, it's time to move on. Lania says she can get me honest work with the wind down guards. I'd rather look a fool in that uniform than stay here and see the black arts mocked. Janet said our orders came from a higher power. The Islas were privy to big secrets, she said. What a laugh. Nary one of these fools can craft a proper bone charm or rotting ointment. All they do is guzzle red liquor and puke and brawl like babes. I won't miss any of them. You're my only friend here now that Maud is gone, so I wanted to say farewell. Come see me in Winedown if you can, Marina. Okay, that's good to know. We can pickpocket peoples. I think now it's a good time to head back to that house, and I'll show you what I discovered there. Because afterwards we will continue our hunt for the red liquor recipe and for that white dog in the section there and over there. But first let's do that. That side house, and I will show you what it's all about. Also, what I noticed here, these are NPCs that were in the previous part alive and kicking around on the street. They're all dead now. Yesterday in the part I also was inside that hallway over there, and I heard some screams, and I thought indeed like, oh man, people are getting murdered. And I initially thought that was just the fighting going on down below, but apparently it was here on the street. These people were attacked, I guess, by this wolfhound. And yeah, they have no use for their items anymore, so let's get that. This is the house I meant. We were yesterday here, and I saw that door, but it's simply closed off, and you cannot get in from here. But what I observed while fooling around with the editing of the software is that open window. So that is the entrance to that house, and we can simply get over there in it. Afterwards, I also noticed in the video that got deleted, for instance, how the developers indeed have a broad setup of their levels. Like again, in the first part of the main game playthrough, I got stuck for an hour and a half in a room looking for an exit that was in a totally different section of the level. It ended up to be. I should not stare myself blindly on one section. Also with this house, I was looking at the front and I couldn't find it, and I just assumed that there was an NPC carrying a key that I would have to take or whatever. But I really have to look at it from the more integrally, like the buildings and stuff, because of course it makes sense that a building like that also has a backside, and that the backside may also offer opportunities to enter it, like it does in this case. So that is a learning moment. Another learning moment is, if you walk here, that there are really multiple approaches to tackle a level, because as you can see here, this piping and this little roofing is also a way to get to that location. Here we were yesterday, we took like the aggressive approach, we knocked out the guards over there. But you can go like through here, so through the piping, or you can jump down immediately, I guess, maybe a bit here. There are multiple approaches to overcome obstacles, which is really cool. Especially also, you can really, what also one of the tutorial hints said, the playstyle is up to you, the game will adapt. You can do a stealthy run through, you can do an aggro run through. I'm going with the stealthy one, hopefully as little kills as possible and as quietly as possible. And that is also cool, because it doesn't mean that you only, if you're opting for the stealth route, that you can only choke people out and you are missing out on all the cool weapons, because a lot of the weapons actually have like a lethal mode and non-lethal modes. So that is, from a gameplay perspective, just as much fun. Only this is a bit an annoying piping. Okay, here we go. Enter the apartment. What I notice is, of course, this board. We already saw it at the bathhouse. Pay what you own. Pay what you owe. Here is some. Here's the bone charm, the collectible in this apartment, and some feathers. Let's immediately equip the bone charm. Blast resistant. You take less damage from explosions. Very nice. We have some lore here. Background. Excerpt from a journal. Will be rich. We've been here just a month and I'm making coin hand over fist. It's a dream come true. Sure, it costs to keep that suppressor running, but it's paid for itself 10 times over. Everyone wants to try to fight the brute. All the new folks coming in because they heard we can do a bit of magic, thinking they're the one who will break the brute's records. Ha! They pay for it in coin and teeth. Better them than me. I could kiss the one who led us here and to that magnificent bastard. Okay, so the suppressor, what they are referring to here, that is, I think, the electrified chair and room where Dot, the person they call Brute, the Brute, is being secured. We have a typing machine. Man, this is really deja vu. I just was here, I went through all of this, but now at least I know what's better, what's here. Confirm, no numbers here. Why am I looking for numbers? Because we have a save here and it requires 3 numbers. I tried to insert all those 4 instances of 3 numbers, but that didn't do anything. So the code is somewhere else. I spent quite some time searching for it, but I was not able to find it in the apartment. Sir Conan Legend, the Moth King. So yeah, what can you do? I really took maybe 15 minutes or so looking for it. So here's a bottle. So of course I cannot guarantee it's not in here, but I assume it is maybe this location is somewhere from a side mission later on that we will be sent here when we progress further in the game and then get access to the information to open the safe. Maybe it's a contract or something. And that's also of course something that you with like not super linear games like this, you have 2 ways of approaching these games. Either is explore every side location or nook and cranny as soon as you bump into them, as you just explore them. That minimizes the risk of overlooking environmental locations, but it increases the risk of repetition. Like you be sent back afterwards to a location that you already explored on your initial running through that part of the level, while you actually should not have explored it because it's only part of a later side mission. So you can have some duplication. The other way to go about it is to not run into any side environments that you may notice. Only go to those locations that the game directs you to, either via main missions or side missions. That approach minimizes the risk of repetition. You will only go to a location once as soon as the game tells you so. On the other hand, that increases the chance of overlooking sections which simply are not part of any mission and are there put in the game for you to explore at your own free leisure. So yeah, you have to find a balance between those two. I try to explore like I did this apartment, but maybe this will end up in some repetition, as probably it is also part of a contract for us when we get the save code and have to return here to crack it. But yeah, maybe better some repetition in a deep playthrough than missing out on locations. So yeah, that's my thinking behind it. Oh, wrong button. Okay, I looked everywhere here for the key. Couldn't find it. Let's take some bread and some grapes. What I did find was this key, but that does not open the safe. It does open the front door that we couldn't open. Then I searched for the key, the code of the safe somewhere here, but it's not here. I thought maybe on the mailbox, but it was not there. Maybe it's on the door. No. And then I went back to the bathhouse to continue with our quest. And I was also looking around, maybe I overlooked other stuff. And of course I will not prevent not finding everything, because it's simply a big game and stuff is laid out pretty intricately, and some things are obvious, other ones are not obvious at all. So yeah, probably I will not find anything, but I will certainly give it my best shot to find it. I'm going to save the recording now because I'm still a bit hesitant of it crashing down on me again and then having to replay this part for a third time. So 1 second. Very nice. That has been saved. And we can get ahead with it. What's this? Nothing. Alright. The way I tackled it was I went to this room again. By the way, I tried to disable the electricity by hand, but that's not possible. And we are now nearing the part, yeah, still not really near, but a little, where it crashed. So then it will be again more a spontaneous run, which is much nicer, of course, than me just hammering up what I already went through before. Okay, letter to Alma. Dear Alma, your last letter tore my heart out, with you begging me to quit the eyeless gang and come home. Whatever gruesome tales you heard, the eyeless aren't bloodthirsty brutes like hatters or howlers. They know things, secret things. They're teaching me how to make medicines and brew potions, and even carve my own bone charms for the occult boxing fights. If I keep winning matches, I'll catch Janet Leigh's eye. She's the boss here at the Albarca. If I work for her, the coin will come rolling in, more than I ever made toiling on the docks. Sad news about Graham's fever. I can't spare any coin, but here's some dried raven beak for a poultice. Boil it down with yarrow root in a copper pot and spread it thick on Graham's chest. She'll be right as crystal rain in no time. Your brother Rory. Okay, I missed that one initially, so that's good. Also, check out the darker sides.
Yes, cruelty, catches, screams, biting, bright blood, they gnaw our bones.
This is to the other entrance to this section, but we came in from there, from high up. Ah, this may be incinerator. We will come here later. First I will show you, I will run through what I did. About electrical burst. Jeanette, remember those old wall of light parts we found near the dockyards? Well, I found a way to make use of them. Turns out there's a part in them that powers the whole thing. So I took it out of the older rusty coils and now we got these little things to stun folks if they get out of hand. I call them electrical burst. You're welcome. I've already seen folks sling them at rats to keep them out of the storerooms, but it makes them tense up and ruins the meat. Can't even make liquor from them when they're like that. Better to use them on larger vermin. You get me? One last thing. Do not touch the tip. And by the outsider, do not lick it. I wish I didn't have to make that clear, but Lacey did on a bed and it took hours to wake her up. And now she's got no eyebrows. Not from the electricity, just because someone shaved them off when she was out cold. But we told her it was the electricity. Leon. That is really the most lame joke you can play on somebody. I actually know a guy who did it to his brother. Shaved off his eyebrows while he was asleep. And eyebrows, if you're younger, they don't grow back that quick. So you really run around like it's just it looks like a small part of somebody's head, but it's a pretty important part of his face, eyebrows. Very unfortunate for, on a serious note, for people who have to endure chemotherapy and lose their hairs. It just losing eyebrows. It just looks quite unnatural. So if your brother shaves them off while you're asleep, that's like, then you're a pretty big asshole. Here. Stefan, what did I tell you? Glad we stole those blueprints last month. Sure, those parts were hard to find, but these hook mines are already making themselves useful. Snatched up an overseer trying to sneak in here. Oh yeah, what I noticed here, an overseer. I thought there was only one overseer, but apparently there are multiple. Or there can be multiple. Snatched up an overseer trying to sneak in here. Wish I could have seen what his face looked like under that mask when the hooks got him and dragged him up. Would have paid a lot of coin to see that. But someone in this district is telling tales about us to the Abbey of the Everyman. Those witch hunters won't show mercy if they find out what we're doing here. Best find out which of our neighbors has a loose tongue. See if they can still snitch without it. And keep the tongue, we can use that. In the meantime, throw a rock or a red up at this fool. See if you can make him twitch. I'll get more hook mines made as soon as I can. Arabella. Okay, that's some background on the hook mines. This is the diagram of the hook mine. And here are two dudes, probably the ones, an overseer, that were mentioned. I hit them down, you can get them down. But you cannot retrieve the mine and they didn't have anything. So I will not hit them down now, because I actually hit them down with my swords. I am pretty convinced they are already dead now. But in the minimal chance that they are not, I want to avoid as much killing as needless killing as possible. If I have to kill, I will not hesitate, but needless killing I will try to avoid. So since I'm not 100% sure they are already dead, I prefer not to hit them with my sword to get them down, because that might kill them inadvertently. Yeah, we don't have much going on around here. What we do have going on is our first contract objective, which is right about there. Anyways, there's also the White Hound is over there. That is probably Milky from the contract that we have to unfortunately kill and incinerate, because he carries a lot of diseases and his boss wants him out of his misery. Actually, it's also again a positive note from the previous recording crashing. I stunned these two dogs because I did not want to needlessly kill them, and of course I had to kill lethally hit Milky. But while I was down there, I got confused because I didn't see the brown dogs breathe anymore. Probably I hit them indeed with the correct ammunition, like with the stun electricity charges. But I was just starting to doubt myself whether maybe I had hit them with the lethal shots and maybe Milky with the non-lethal one. But that was not that big of a chance, because afterwards when he was down I hit Milky again and nothing changed in the journal. That was also a way why I started doubting myself whether I hit them with the correct ammo, because after hitting Milky, initially also nothing changed in the journal. It still said, like, burn the White Hound after I killed him. So maybe it will probably it will only change after I actually burn him, not only kill him. But even so, it got me thinking, like, okay, did I actually use the right ammo on them? Is it not that I killed the brown dogs and only stunned Milky? So I in the end decided to replay a couple of minutes, and while I reloaded it, the game, it crashed. The PC crashed. While I wanted to start that replay section, it crashed on me. So that is actually everything that went on. And now I went through it in a way higher pace. So initially the section that crashed, it was I think an hour long, and now it's maybe only half an hour long. I also died quite a couple of times entering this room, but now I know. It was also a learning moment. I know how to deal multiple enemies. It's not necessarily the case that you have to stealth kill everyone. Like if you are choking one out and the other sees you, that you immediately start over because you want to do it as fully stealth. You can also, if you are on a non-lethal playthrough, start a fight with the second one, like a real sword fight, which would seem to be lethally. But you can, of course, take a non-lethal approach with a lethal opponent, and then just kick him in the head and kick him unconscious instead of stabbing them with your sword. So that is the way to go here. And actually that is also the way I went when we started this part in the little room with the two enemies. The first one I think I choked out. The second one was going for a lethal fight, but I knocked him out non-lethally. So that's what we're gonna do here.
You beauties ready for my fighting ring?
Soon. I don't know how to spar yet. Loose the beasts and they savage anything that moves, friend or foe. We found an old beggar to train them on. Roots ripped him to meat gobbets in a blink.
Good. We want them vicious. Find some more beggars to train them on. But keep a watchful eye when you're dumping the bodies next time. We don't need the guards sniffing around here again.
Hi.
Cool little detail, him killing a fly.
Lavender tincture. It's good in spells and all
Hello.
that. She might want to rinse that.
Oops.
Is someone there? Watch out! Intruder! That's it. Keep your distance.
Oh damn, I do hope I didn't save, that we don't have to backtrack that long. I can maybe try to fight them. Shall I try it? Yeah, let's try it. Holy shit. The dogs are out. Holy shit. Okay, I will do it on my previous tactics. I incapacitated the dogs and that distracted those two, and at least one of course also cannot get out anymore. And then you can take your time taking out the two eyelids. Okay, and now has to be sure I'm gonna take the right ammo. I think I did the first time, but I just was not 100% sure, or 200% sure. So I'm going with the stun ammunition for the two brown dogs. It only took one hit each. So let's see if that's still the case. Yes. Stunned. Stunned. And unfortunately for Milky we have to get the lethal ammo. I'm sorry Milky. I really like dogs. But we have to put you out of your misery. If you're full of diseases, you're probably in much more pain as we speak right now. Standard ammunition, that's the lethal one. Sorry Milky. That was Milky. Actually now he's gone with a single shot. The previous time it took 2 shots. Maybe that's because now it was in his head direction more.
You beauties ready for my fighting ring?
Soon. I don't know how to spar yet. Loose the beasts and they savage anything that moves, friend or maybe the wind or something.
Huh?
You see, she gets distracted.
Hi.
No way.
I'll be down.
I was.
Intruder!
Okay. Holy smack. That was not how it was supposed to go.
What's going on?
Damn, that's new, because the last time she just stayed in the room and I actually don't want her to sound the alarm. Of course we want to keep it quiet. So what I can do is just stun her. Let's do that. I will stun her and I will choke him out. So let's take the non-lethal stuff.
Kill her!
Oh, damn. So she opens the door, we saw that. And she does book it out of there. So I will stun her first and then take on the other guy.
I'll be down. What?
What? Watch out! Intruder!
You don't stand it.
Easy does it. Okay, we got a key, I think. We got an apartment key. We got, that was Jeanette. Nice. So that is the key to stop the electricity field downstairs, and then Dodd will be free and he will probably mess up everyone in that room. Which maybe is not really consistent with our non-lethal approach. But yeah, that is how the game probably intends to pan out. So I will leave that just flow naturally. The alternative for us would be to first incapacitate each single person downstairs, but that may be a bit too much. Let's immediately run through any unread stuff. The hook mines reread. The electrical burst reread. Letter to Alma reread. Leaving the eyeless. That was the letter from the girl at the entrance of the bath. Her girlfriend who will leave for wind down. Defeat the brute. That was for the bone charm at the start of this part of this video. So Jeanette, there is where you are now, and can you actually see her belly move? Yes, you can, eh? So you can, or is that simply us moving? I'm not sure. No, you don't see her belly move, right? But I'm not sure now. Is this thing lethal or not? Electrical burst, a static burst that stuns targets. Yeah, it should be a non-lethal. Can you see his body move? Not really. And you can hear him that he is alive. So, because he's snoring. So indeed it's a non-lethal dart. So that's good. Clarice, here's what you asked for. Weren't too hard to find, but you know they're not real pearls, right? 6 years at sea should have taught you that. This is uses for hate pearls, by the way. Hagfish spit them up when they ate something bad. A rat falls in their mouth and 2 weeks later a bunch of these come out. Waxy and full of little bones. Or they swallowed up the silver teeth out of a dead man's head and it made them too heavy to swim right. Either way, it means they shove these things out one end or another. Probably why they smell awful. When they dry out, they turn stiff, and I've seen street kids pitch them at folks with slings. But dog walkers say they're unlucky. Cut open a hagfish belly and a bunch of these pour out. You'd better take care. Your gran used to collect them, had a string of them around her wrist, and when she wanted someone's luck to turn, she'd whisper their name to it and slip it in her pocket. Worked half the time, at least. Might help you out someday, who knows, just don't eat one. Visit again soon, Aunt Flora. Okay, these are hag pearls, and they're actually super cool, because use hag pearls to distract your enemies or knock them unconscious. It is a reusable distraction tool. Hack pearls are non-lethal near-silent projectiles that can be thrown by pressing the left trigger. They deal no damage, and while they do not break physical objects, their impact can be used to distract enemies. Once upgraded, you can also charge your shot using left trigger and aim for the head to knock a target unconscious. Hack pearls bounce after impact and can be retrieved for reuse. And especially that last part I really like. So we don't have to always just pick up bottles and stuff, which are one use only. We can reuse our hack pearl. Take some canned food while we're at it. Yeah, so this is more or less where I left off. And where my personal doubt began on whether I used the correct ammunition for the dogs. But I'm more and more convinced of it. Because these two still alive persons. By the way, when here the cursor turns red, but on this guy it does not. So what does that mean? That's a bit awkward. They also do not show any physical movement anymore, so not showing that doesn't mean you're dead. So these dogs not showing it doesn't mean they are dead. We have to unfortunately incinerate poor Milky, and I'm still not quite sure how or where to do it, but we'll look into it. And their eyes, they are pretty lifelike. They're pretty gruesome. I must say their beaks I find a bit overdone. It looks more like some weird hammer shark or something. But their eyes, they are pretty intimidating. Okay, let's get them out of here, because maybe we have to simply incinerate that whole room for in order to get rid of Milky. And why would we want to kill these nice dogs then as well? We don't. Here, these are also showing up red. That one doesn't. So it's totally hit or miss. Oh, now this one also doesn't. Yeah, these really don't seem to be asleep. But what can I do? I tried everything in my power to keep them alive. Here, now it also turned red again for 1 sec. Yeah, annoying. I find stuff like that annoying. Like that it's not super... It doesn't seem to be super consistent. Here, now it's red again. That one is not. That one is. And now it's not anymore. Yeah, now it is. So I would say if it turns red, that's an indication that he's still alive. But C is not. And maybe let's just see how many people we actually killed already. Oh, we also have some lore. That is the will be rich. That's from the apartment. And this is the bone charm. This is from the initial room we started this part in, this video in. Where was the statistics screen? Stats is over here. Let's check which tutorials we missed. Advanced combat. Fatalities, pressing right trigger. Or grab them by RB. Hold RB to choke your victim unconscious, or press RT to throw them forward. That's super handy. That's one that I used previous 2 times. Hold RT to ready a focus strike and release right trigger to attack. Enemies hit by focus strike will be knocked off balance and made vulnerable to fatalities. Bone charms. Provide supernatural benefits, traits, upgrading your prowess or powers, or even adding entirely new abilities. Corrupt and black bone charms are rarer and more powerful, offering more exotic traits. But corrupt bone charms are unstable and also possess negative traits. Locate bone charms by using foresight to see them through walls, or buy them at a black market shop. By default you can activate up to 5 bone charms at once in the journal. I'm not sure whether I already read that one in the previous video, I think so, but yeah. Replenishes health, blocking, attacking, sheathing, drop down kill, lean, stealth, red thoughts, voltaic gun, hook mines. Hook mines can be placed or thrown onto any surface by pressing left trigger. I think we already read this one, but still. Once triggered, a hook mine will grab an enemy or object within range, dragging them towards the mine. Hold left trigger to toggle hook mine lethality, and non-lethal mine will stun an enemy and a lethal mine will kill him. Enemies or objects snagged by hook mines. Enemies or objects snagged by hook mines can be released by striking them with your sword, a projectile or a thrown object. You can also simply throw a bottle at them, so you don't need to hit them with your sword, potentially killing them. You can just knock them off it with an object. And I was still wondering, I think also the previous time I read this, it says hold LT to toggle hook mine lethality. I hope we get some kind of, we are able to see what is lethal and non-lethal, given the fact that we turned off all HUD elements, but we'll see that. Contracts, okay, that we already read. We have 2 contracts going on. Quick access wheel, that is our weapon inventory. Play your way. Kill. And I don't think we saw this video yet. Just for completion's sake, let's check out the video. We did see this. I'm not sure whether it was in the corrupted part or the video before that. Yeah, we did see this. But let's play it out. No, we did see it. That's a waste of time. Okay, hack pearls, we just read it. And that was that from the tutorials, and now let's go to the stats, see how many people we actually already killed, if it is mentioned. Playthrough 3 hours 29 minutes. I think I played way longer than that, but whatever. I'm now uploading the video of 2 hours. Yeah, so it could be more or less correct, because this playthrough is now taking approximately maybe an hour or so. But of course I missed an hour and a half in the deleted video. Economy, we have 202 coins. Stealth, spotted. Yeah, okay, so it will not be a full 100% stealth run through, because I don't mind getting spotted by enemies, as long as they do not alarm their buddies. Assassination 0, non-lethal takedown 7. Very nice. So we did not... Combat total kill 0, global kill ratio 0, global non-lethal ratio 34%. Shouldn't that be 100% then? If it's a ratio of non-lethal kills on the or takedowns versus the total takedowns. I'm not sure where the 66% goes between kills, non-lethal kills, and the total amount of incapacitations. That's a bit weird, or maybe, yeah, I don't understand. I think we but it's anyways really good news that we are still at 0 kills. I like that a lot. So the fact that the cursor turns red or white, I couldn't care less. Okay, we got the dogs out of here. And I think, yeah, he's not interactable. We have to find a way to incinerate him, and I wonder whether these are gas spouting or fire spouting pipings. I don't think so. I think it's just water. So we have to find another way to incinerate poor Milky. But let's continue on our playthrough. And yeah, what shall we do? Shall we save it, or I will take a little chance. Let's go to the next checkpoint or autosave. I will save the game. But I by the way, I meant with chance, like should we save the recording, not the game. But I will just continue a bit, otherwise I have to edit too many pieces to each other, which is also a bit annoying. Let's just see. Now we are simply at the start of the level, but where are we now? I don't recognize this. Ah, there's the boxing ring. So this is these are the locker room.
That's the part I always mix up. Tap the whalebone thrice, not twice.
That's the locker room where we initially went up to the first floor, or the second floor, whatever you call it. So we have a shortcut opened again. But still, we are actually in search here for the red liquor poison, and we have to incinerate poor Milky. And I don't really see any options to do that, because we can continue with the main storyline, that's freeing up Dot, but then we run the risk that the game just progresses and that we will have failed our side objectives. So where is that damn red poison or poison liquor recipe? How can we incinerate the Milky, and where is the code of the safe in the other building? I think I know what we can do. There is a section we didn't explore yet, and that is down there. So that will be our way. Okay, I think that's a good place to save the video. Also to cut it up into the next part. So this video will be the second part, the second YouTube upload. I will immediately continue from this exact point, just saving the recording now and cutting it up for a new part. So I will say goodbye now, because of course I'm not sure whether you will immediately also afterwards watch the next upload, the third upload on YouTube. So should there be time in between there, I'm gonna say goodbye now. Otherwise you can just immediately watch that, and we will continue from this exact point. Hope to see you again for sure. For the meantime, keep on gaming, guys.